Okay, let's talk about this. They did a topic on whether or not the offensive line will it be better than what it was last season. So last season, Tyron Smith played pretty good. He missed a few games, but when he played pretty well. Tyler Smith, he was by far one of the better offensive linemen, not just on the team, but in the National Football League. So Tyler Smith, he improved. Tyler Biadasz, to a degree, regressed, right? He wasn't the same kind of caliber of center that you had the two previous years, because the two previous years he haven't allowed a single sack for the quarterback. Now, he was still getting walked back and pushed back, right? So that was Tyler Biadasz. Now, we don't really talk about this to a degree, but Zach Martin, he had one of his by far worst seasons, right? And then when we start to look at what Teren Steele was able to do, he himself, woo! There were some games, man, you look back on and said, man, what's going on with Smooth over there? We paid him the money, and now all of a sudden he don't show up. I get all of that. I understand the regressions to a sense with Terrence Steele because of the injury aspect. But now heading into the 2024 season, we don't have that part of it, right? And we don't have Zach Martin holding out, so he should have a faster start of the season for the 2024 season, however you want to look at it. Tyler Smith, my only notion is, since he's an all-pro at guard, he's an all-pro guard, let's not have him jumping back to tackle, right? So what are we missing? We're missing Tyron Smith, and at least we are missing Tyler Biadasz, right? So we're missing Tyron and Tyler. Those are the two pieces that we are missing. But within that state of the offensive line, they did draft Austin Richards, right? And then we heard the news of Brock Hoffman, who's physical, who's strong. He has some technique issues that he's working on. And if anybody looks at our guy, Duke Manyweather, as a offensive line whisperer, he's been working all offseason with him, as well as they've been working together with Zach Martin. So all of that stuff could work out for us, because at its face value, Brock Hoffman himself is a stronger version of a Tyler Biadasz. He's stronger than him. It may not be as fast as him as far as his feet movement and these sorts of things, but he can anchor in. He got good hands, right? And he stays low to the ground. And he's saying that role for the Cowboys as being that center will fall right in line for him. The other aspect of it, for what we were able to identify, ladies and gentlemen, was this right here. With our guy, hear me out. Just hear me out. TJ Bass. He wasn't chopped liver. So when you start to think of it, how do we get that tackle role? Because we know TJ, he is a guard. He's not a tackle. And we do know for sure that Tyler Smith, he's a left-sided player, meaning that he can play guard and tackle. It's just the fact that he's an all-pro guard. So can this room, if they focus in, and they already leaked out that they are already saying to themselves that Tyler Smith will be your left tackle. Could this be a situation with continuity and rapport that this offensive line can be better? Yes. Yes is the answer. It takes time. I remember listening in to Nate Newton. And Big Nate said, man, the offensive line going to take time to gel together because they don't have the immense amount of time to pick up Mike Solari's scheme and system. So they're going to have to learn on the fly. And it may not be until week 5 and week 6 before this offensive line get fully intact. And he said that during the preseason. Go listen to what Big Nate Newton was saying. And then he kind of reiterate the same notion midway through the season, around week 3 and week 4. He said, remember, it takes time. It's going to take time. It's going to go through growing pains. So the good thing about this particular team, and I know a lot of people saying that, well, Law, hey, go Law, man. He's trying to give us some Kool-Aid stuff, man. We ain't trying to drink the Kool-Aid, Law. But hear me out. By Mike Solari, All of these damn Mikes, Mike Salari, Mike Zim, Mike McCarthy, but Mike Salari, let me just tell y'all like this. He know what he's doing. And now that you got guys that's going to buy into his philosophy and system, you may have a better workage or a better concept with this version of the offensive line for the 2024 season juxtaposed to last season. That's all I'm going to say. So the answer is yes, this particular team, before we enter into the draft, they may be a better offensive line unit. Now, unit meaning all 5 of those guys. Keep this in mind. The offensive line, you got to have all 5 guys on the same page. You can't have one person that's not on the same page with the other. And that's what I believe what ultimately happened last season. All of these boys were not on the same page. Now you can get all of these guys primarily on the same page. Now, hear me out, even with the confines of the Cowboys going into the draft. This doesn't stop them from drafting an offensive line, whether it's tackle or whether it's guard or whether it's center. This doesn't stop them from doing that. Ultimately, I like Austin Richards. I think that he did pretty good, solid, real solid during the offseason, real solid during preseason. It's not a lot of bad tape on him, and there's not a lot of tape on him. So now you're looking at that aspect of it. He's going to go in, and he may be your swing tackle. He may be your swing tackle. Let me say it again. He may be your swing tackle. And the Cowboys can fight this out and battle this out with whoever they draft in the first round. But here's the thing. The Cowboys don't have time to sit back and develop a guy because Mike Zim is on a 1-year contract. Mike McCarthy is on a 1-year contract. And all of these boys, the entire team is on a 1-year deal. So whoever they get, they better go look at this thing and say BPA. Yes, they better look at it and say best player available, because if this coaching staff, although Mike McCarthy said, hey, he don't want people to feel sorry for him. Granted, this is football and beyond, and I get all of that. But at the end of the day, we looking for results. And he don't have a long stay. The brother got a short rope, and he got to make it and get it done. The 2 picks that we had last season, Mozzie, he's not going to be really starting for you for the 2024 season. The dude is coming back from a shoulder surgery thing. Even Luke Schoonmaker. Those are your 2 draft picks from last year, baby. So nobody's going to sit back and say, hey, man, let's give these guys some time to develop. No, because this particular coaching staff is on its way out. So they can't deal around and hang around and say, okay, let's wait for these guys to develop. And 2 of your longest and pretty much hard things to develop are your interior defensive tackles as well as your tight ends. So the Cowboys, at the end of the day, going into the 2024 draft, they better look at this philosophy and get BPA, and they better get someone who can be a difference maker for the 2024 season and no developmental player, because at the end of the day, the entire coaching staff is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns. I truly believe that this offensive line can get better. DC for life, not for short. Salute. We out. Peace.